Edit update on my page. Here's the situation. My husband 36 and I 30 have 3 kids 2, 4, 7. I'm a SOM, full-time, and I take care of the kids while my husband works, full-time. My sister's wedding was last week. We live hours away, which is an issue for my husband. When we first got the invite, he told me that he wasn't going, that he will stay for the kids, and suggested I do the same. Since the wedding doesn't allow kids and my husband doesn't want to hire a babysitter after the one we had robbed us. We had gone back and forth on this. But I insisted on going since that's my only sister and I want to attend what might be a once-in-a-lifetime event for her. He chuckled at my statement, then we stopped talking about it. As the wedding was approaching, he brought it up and told me to miss it and stay with the kids. I suggested that since no babysitters were allowed then, I could get my friend to stay with the kids, but he refused. I ignored him, spoke to my friend who agreed to watch the kids, and booked a ticket to travel to my sister's town in time. My husband found out and went on about how he had work and that the most logical solution is that I stay home with the kids and let him make his living. I told him that I already took care of the kids and they'll stay with my friend. Honestly, I grew impatient. The day of my flight, I dropped the kids off at my friend's place, then headed to the airport. I found out he had cancelled my plane ticket. I was upset but still insisted on going, so I went home and got into my car and drove 4 hours to get to the town. At 5 p.m. my husband called and was freaking out on me, asking where I was. I told him I made it to my sister's town and he blew up saying I wasn't supposed to go, even said he cancelled my ticket to get me to stay. He demanded I return, but I said not until the wedding was over. He called me horrible, neglectful mom, then had his mom scold me and accuse me of abandoning my own kids. There was a huge argument ensued when I returned home, and my husband kept on saying I was horrible to leave the kids and to ignore him like that and do what I wanted eventually. He's giving me silent treatment as of now and I can no longer take it. I felt guilty and did not enjoy the wedding at all. Was I wrong for still going? Info: my husband dislikes my sister if it's relevant. Update. So a lot of people on here brought up the possibility of my husband lying about the robbery that happened months ago and accusing the babysitter of stealing, just so I can't hire any other babysitters. He was the one who discovered the robbery. I never saw or talked to her after he kicked her out. Upon reading the comments, I'm now suspecting that he made this whole thing up. I'm going to contact a babysitter to get the whole story from. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I will talk to her and see if her story contradicts his in any way. I'll keep you updated. Hello, I am the 42 father to a 16-year-old girl. About 3 months ago we found out via a visit to the hospital that our daughter had a late-stage form of brain cancer and were told that survival was not likely. We tried anyway, but despite our best efforts we found no improvement in the cancer. My daughter is aware of this. Well, recently, my wife was looking for a hair straightener. My daughter had borrowed and found a few grams of marijuana, an Elf bar vape, as well as a partially empty handle of Tito's vodka in her bedroom. When confronted, my daughter confessed to have been using these substances for about a month at that point. She said that, since she knew she wasn't likely going to survive past 18, she wanted to try these things socially and assured us she was being responsible with them. I myself am a user of these substances, as we live in a legal state. I do not vape, though I do smoke cigarettes, drink, and will occasionally roll myself a joint. While normally I would not want my children using these, I thought I could make an exception due to the circumstances. My wife, however, disagrees. She only drinks a glass of wine every now and then and dislikes nicotine and marijuana. We had a conversation and came to the conclusion that she would be allowed to do these things under my supervision as long as they are from retail stores and dispensaries and not street dealers, though my wife remains adamant she should not be doing them at all. Ida. My husband Mickey loves his mom's cooking. He always praises her for the food she makes and even mentioned it in his groom's speech at the wedding. I consider myself a good cook. In fact, I'm going to just say that I'm even better than his mom. But the problem is he doesn't even want to try my cooking or give me a chance to prove it. I thought this would change after marriage, but 5 months later nothing's changed. What does he eat if he's not eating what I'm cooking? He has requested that his mom send him a meal every day to eat for dinner after getting off work, except for the weekend, where we go over to her house and eats breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert there. Every single day he'd come home and ask if his mom sent him a meal. I grew irritated of this, and whenever I try to offer him to taste any of the wasted food I cook, he'd lay in bed and say he's full. So I came up with an idea. I cooked him the same meal his mom sent him that day and put it aside till he got home. He asked if his mom sent a meal for dinner, and I said yes, and served him my own version of the meal, not hers. He didn't notice anything different. He ate the whole thing with no hesitation, while I sat across from him asking him questions about how good the meal was. He went on and on praising it, saying how perfect, exceptional it was, and how it was just what he needed after a long day at work. I smiled and said, "You're welcome." He froze and looked at me for a minute. Looked down at the plate, then back at me and said, "Wait, you made this, didn't you?" I said, "With my own hand and from scratch." His face suddenly went red, and he got upset and said that this was not cool. I told him he never even gave me a chance to show him how good my cooking is and that he's probably just used to his mom's cooking and is rejecting any other alternatives, which is unfair to me. He said that I shouldn't have lied to him and basically tricked him into eating food that he had no idea where it came from. I said he liked it and admitted that it was good, so what's the issue? He got up from his seat, threw the napkin and said that I was unbelievable, then walked out. He got quiet the rest of the evening, then posted about it on his FB in a vague post about being tricked into eating someone's food like that. I felt guilty and bad, thinking maybe I really shouldn't have done this, but I was frustrated with how he kept turning down every meal I tried to cook him and then say, "No thanks, I prefer mom's food." Ida. Title is weird. So is this whole situation I, 27M, find myself in. I do think the backstory is important here. So my sister is getting married in November. We are really close and always have been. So I find this whole situation to be ever weirder. I've been asked to be a groomsman on her fiance's side. Me and him are cool, and it was important to my sister that I'm included. I was really looking forward to it until I saw who I was paired with. So 2 years ago I met this girl named Tara, 26F, on a dating app. We started talking daily. FaceTimed a lot. Went on dates. We talked for over 3 months. And I felt like it was actually going somewhere. Well, after one of the dates she completely ghosted me. Sent a follow-up text, but got nothing back. I won't lie. I was really upset. I even talked to my sister about it. Well, COVID hit, and I moved away for a job. Come back to find out my sister and Tara are now friends. Apparently my sister got a new job. Tara recognized the last name. Reached out to her, and they became friends. Such good friends, in fact, that she is now a bridesmaid and hangs at my parents' house. And my parents know her? I found out they were friends literally 3 weeks ago. She never mentioned it to me. I asked if she knew it was the Tara I got ghosted by. And she said Tara had told her. But wanted to keep their conversations private. Then a random text from Tara. Asking what I wanted to do for our entrance dance. I immediately called my sister. Who informed me that Tara and I would be paired up. Including the entrance dance. I asked why. I know many of her bridesmaids, and she had to pair me with the one who ghosted me? She said she had her reasons. And Tara also asked for me specifically. I never responded to Tara and instead went to talk to my sister in person. Got the same answers. And this time she sounded offended that I asked for a different person. I told her how uncomfortable it made me. And she told me to stop overthinking. And just have fun. I said that she didn't understand how hurt I was. She said she had an idea, but to just do it as her wedding gift. I told her I'd be stepping down from the wedding party. I'll just go as a guest. She went apeshit. Saying I couldn't do that. And she wanted me up there. I said fine, then switch me to a different girl. She said she wasn't going to. So I told her I'd be dropping out. My parents are calling me an ah. But I don't think I am. It's a weird request, and I'm not about it. Ida. I, F36, have a daughter, F16, who loves baking, and she's incredibly good at it. It's her passion since she was 3, and I encourage her to follow it and discover more ways to become better at it. I even enrolled her in few classes in academy to learn more. I met my fiancé, M41, 2.5 years ago. We're getting married soon. And for the wedding cake I had an idea, which is to have my daughter bake the cake and decorate it for us. My daughter agreed and was so excited to do it. My fiancé glanced at me when he heard about it, then when we were alone he snapped and said, "I can't believe you're being serious about this." I told him why not, it's not like we're having a huge formal wedding with many guests. Just a small party with our family and loved ones. He said this was a fucking joke and that he will not let a child bake our wedding cake, while there are tons of professional bakers out there who can make a much more decent looking tasting one. I said I didn't understand the problem because I thought he loved her baking. He responded, "I do love what she bakes, but let's just stick to the muffins and brownies." I told him he was being unreasonable and that his words were hurtful to me and my daughter and her abilities. He told me to be more realistic and think about what the guests will say. Again, I said all the guests are family and friends, so I doubt they'd make any negative comments about the cake, knowing my daughter made it. Matter of a fact, they might even think it's sweet. He got mad and said that there was nothing sweet about getting embarrassed on his wedding day. We argued for over 2 hours just going back and forth on the issue. Later, I got a call from his mother telling me that I should start being rational and look at things from her son's perspective. She suggested we get a professional cake for the wedding, then have my daughter maybe bake some cupcakes for the buffet or something. But I wasn't convinced and felt like they're deciding my wedding's plans for me and forcing what they want on me. I don't care how the cake will look, but it's the sentiment I care about.